It's day number 2 at AdeptiCon. So really the con actually starts at 7:30 tonight. This is really I guess they're just kind of putting it together. Really, the vendors are working over there putting their the vendor fair together. They're putting the swag bags together. There is some games happening already. Some people are playing some games. And we're going to go through that skywalk right there. I'm in the main lobby right now, and that goes over into the convention center where everything's happening. That's where the actual AdeptiCon is. And we'll check it out to see what's happening on that side of the hotel. Right? So this first video is really just my chronological order of how I ran into things at AdeptiCon. I do plan on making 2 or 3 episodes. The second part will be more focused on the historicals and the Golden Demon and other things that I ran into, tournament play and that stuff. But I just wanted to show you the beginning stages of the con. Everybody's just kind of setting up. And this statue of the Space Marine, I think they rolled this thing in first because it was here before anything else. At least what I noticed, it was there first. But this hallway gets filled with vendors. They serve food in here. It just gets really packed. They actually did the army parade in there, all sorts of stuff. And this is where they do classes and painting, a free painting area. And I just wanted to show you myself helping the Firelock team set up their booth. So we're outside unloading their U-Haul, and we're feverishly setting up their booth. It was a pretty good time. I think the team here is just, we decided that rack needed to be moved over. You can see I'm hard at work, right, watching these guys alter the booth, but we got it all put together, and it looked fantastic, and it was ready to go. Joseph down there, he is doing probably the best job for Fireluck Games. He's sorting minis into those little packages. They were all kind of mixed up, so we wanted to make sure there's 4 different ones in each one of those plastic containers. This is myself in line waiting to get my swag bag. So getting my badge as well, my hoodie and medallion. These are things I ordered on my pre-order before I came to AdeptiCon. I figured this would be a good time to open up the swag bag and do a kind of an unbagging, not unboxing, of what was in the premium bag. I just figured this would be a good place to put it into the video. Hey everybody, I just finished getting through the line and picked up my premium badge swag bag. And I just figured I'd just take a quick jaunt through it and then take a look, see what's in it this year. That's quite an impressive amount of stuff for the premium level. So of course you get the bag, the orange bag here. Now some of these things I'm not overly familiar with, but this here is the AdeptiCon pin. I think everybody gets one of those. And up goes the monkey. I saw their booth downstairs. This little sticker. This is Badger Games. I think it's a little goblin. It's pretty cool. And we got a AdeptiCon coaster. And we got some BattleTech, which is really cool. And bases. I love bases. Yeah, some really cool bases here. Go. Cool. Then there's a fantasy terrain crate. I haven't really gone through that. Maybe go through that later. By Mantic Games, and I know they make awesome terrain, so I'm sure this will be pretty cool. And I got this here, God Tier. Never heard of it, but some pretty cool looking miniatures in there. But yeah. That's pretty neat. Now I've heard of Star Wars Legion, and they got Boba Fett, which is awesome. I got Boba Fett in there. And then this was outside the bag. Was this Marvel Crisis Protocol. It's like a tank. That's pretty neat. And we got
another, looks like another miniature. It's pretty neat. Mini crate. Some other stuff back here. That's be fun to paint up. And we got Conquest, one miniature in here. I'm just in this paper bag here. It's pretty neat. I definitely want to stop by Victoria Miniatures booth. Like, she's got some really cool miniatures. So I'm gonna go check them out. Definitely in the vendor hall when I get a chance to get in there. It hasn't quite opened yet. When I get a chance to get in there, I'm definitely gonna check that booth out. And it's like a AdeptiCon lip balm or something. Yeah. Okay. There's the program that you get every year, and there's some flyers in here. I'm not sure what this is. Thank you for your support. I'll take a look at what's in there. And you got a little sprue. Looks like French cavalry. Some Warcry dice. And we got some Reaper Bones. Actually, it's got a pirate character, which is fantastic because I play Blood and Plunder. I might be able to adapt that into a Blood and Plunder miniature. This gets 28 mil. We got another Badger Games miniature. So another little goblin. So we got two of them. And then we got these two other big boxes here. This looks like it's a puzzle. Gloomhaven. Big puzzle here. That's pretty neat. And then we got this Pirate of Skydock. It's a whole game. It looks like it's like a card base, like a tabletop game. Looks pretty neat. And that's pretty much it. That's I think that's an impressive amount of things in the premium level. So that's pretty much it for this video. I don't know if I'll make one where I go into it even further. I know I probably don't know what a lot of these things are. I'm more Blood and Plunder and stuff like that, but there's definitely some things I've definitely heard of in here, and there's some really cool stuff in here. Even if you just paint them up as just something to, you know, put in your collection. I like to paint miniatures, so. All right, so that's pretty much for this video. Catch you later. All right, this is day 3. I'm heading across the skywalk, and I'm going over to the vendor hall, which is about to open, and I'm going to film some coverage there. So we'll see how that goes. There's still just about 10 o'clock here, and they're still handing out badges and. Yes, it's pretty crazy. It's been going for like almost 2 days, and they've been giving out badges to essentially the people that have registered to be at AdeptiCon or playing at AdeptiCon. Pretty amazing. This hall, when I was here earlier, there was nobody in it. Now it's just packed in here. But we're all waiting to get into the vendor fair.
So I kind of had to go to the end of the line to wait to get in the vendor hall, even though I had been in there the night before, but I didn't really get a chance to look around. I was just helping Firelock with their booth. But I kind of just filmed this short snippet of the Battletech, I guess, game area was getting ready. And this is the end of the line, wrapped around all the way into where the Battletech is. And that's the line to get into the vendor hall. So this is me finally getting into the vendor hall, and the first thing I see is this looks like Thor's hammer right at the Marvel Crisis booth. So here's just a few of the miniatures they had that they had in their showcase that was in their area. So then, of course, not too far from that was the Firelock Games booth. And I went to check out all the cool stuff they had there. They had all sorts of, still some of the metal miniatures, the plastic miniatures, a whole bunch of different ones on here. Dice, cards, all the manuals, books. They had metal sets, they had plastic sets. 2-player starter set, as well as the Blood and Valor books. They had the new End of Empires book there as well. Blood and Steel and War Stories as well. Amazing booth.
Wait a minute. Do a dance. Do a dance. There it is.
Look at the strength of this booth, man. Look at the strength.
There you go.
So this is just from another angle of the Firelock game booth. That's Tyler there doing demos. He was a demo machine, that guy. He was just doing demos all day. But he was demoing the 2-player starter set that was right behind him in the boxes there. Very cool.
Do the cards change based on that, or is it always
This
the
is a
same
standard
deck?
deck of 52 playing cards. These are really nice because they have the activations printed on them. But I mean, if you've got bicycle cards at the gas station, like
So this is just some video of my journey through the vendor hall. There's just so many things to look at. This is on the first day, so it was very crowded. I'm just about to head up to the Creature Cast booth. I tried to get around this booth like several times throughout the con, and I never could really get some good images. This is probably the best footage I have on the very first day, which is surprising. But their booth was always absolutely packed. I really wanted to get a look at some of their cast because they're so awesome. As you can see here, that tree guy, I had contemplated buying it. I was thinking about it. I just really wanted to, I haven't done it like just a solitary miniature or a big miniature like that where I painted it. And that might be something that I might do in the future. I think I've got inspired from the Golden Demon competition and looking at all these really cool miniatures. And look at these. These are amazing. Maybe I'll try my hand at doing some painting like this. But that's something down the road. But I just had to stop and film it. Again, that's the best footage I could get of that booth. So this is the Conquest booth. Again, another with stunning miniatures. Like they had just a ton of showcases out front, actually, with lots of their product painted up so you could look at it. It's spectacular. They are amazing. This is another game that seemed very interesting to me. I think I got one of them in the swag bag. I got one free miniature. I'm going to paint that up and see how they are, and definitely consider looking at furthermore. Maybe not as much playing the game, but maybe. But definitely painting up these miniatures. They're crazy cool. So here's just some images of them. I did a couple of close-up shots of some of the painted ones. These are amazing. Look at the detail on them. Next up is Bushido. Definitely love these miniatures as well. Very cool miniatures. Look at these. These are spectacular. And the game just looks very interesting to me as well. So this is another one I'll look into a little bit further. But the miniatures are absolutely amazing. So this is some more assorted shots of going through the vendor hall. I was actually using my gimbal, and you can see how smooth it is. You can tell when I'm using my gimbal and when I'm not. It seems like I'm almost like floating through the vendor hall opposed to walking through it. I tried to use my gimbal as much as I could. For the most part I did. There's a few times where I didn't, but I just wanted to take some shots with it, so we're just going to rifle through this for a little while, take a look at some of the vendor hall.
we're just coming up on Warlord Games here. Looks like they brought an armored car in for their display here, right across from their booth. And here's a montage of some of the miniatures I saw around. Actually, I think it was around the Mantic booth. They had some showcases there around there with these miniatures in it, which was very cool. So I wanted to capture them as best as I could. And then there was this moon display, which was really neat. It was kind of like a battlefield with astronauts and stuff. It was pretty cool. A lot of different terrain pieces as well. You know, I love my terrain. And speaking of terrain, here's the Building Miniature Authority. They had a big, long booth here. It's like a double long booth with all sorts of different things to look at.
Okay, you would do a combined 200 with tax be 220.
Here's another random assorted bunch of pictures that I put in a montage. Right, up next is Games Workshop. So they had the largest booth at the AdeptiCon. It took me a while to get around all of it. They had showcases on a couple of sides. They had a large game table in the center, and of course the shop, or the store is the portion of it. Usually there was a big lineup to get in there, and so I was trying to avoid all that and try to get into where I could as best as I could to get some of this stuff filmed. I know I have a lot of friends back home that wanted me to do some filming of the definitely of the Games Workshop stuff. They do have some really cool miniatures, and I wanted to make sure that I also got some good coverage of their booths as well. Yeah, it's surprising that I actually got as close as I did, because most of the time it was kind of like Creature Cast's booth. It was just always packed. This cool gaming area on the one side. They had all sorts of games being played over here. There's definitely Warhammer being played in there, right across from the Games Workshop booth. And you can see there's the shop I mentioned. They had 3 or 4 aisles there of product. There's other booths that had Games Workshop products in them, so it wasn't the only area you could get some. But most of the new stuff and stuff that people were chasing after were in this booth here. So she was mighty busy. You can see where they had the roped off where the lines were. So I kind of got somewhat of a picture of the line right here, and some more of the miniatures. This is more from the inside. But anyways, I just kind of merged all these videos together just so you can kind of see all the different angles I had filmed the Games Workshop. Now, some of these images I did over a few different days that it was in the vendor hall, mainly because it was just, like I said, it was just too hard sometimes to film in there. It was so crowded. So here's a montage of Games Workshop miniatures. cosplay action for you. Unfortunately, I didn't get around to filming all the different people. There was actually quite a few people dressed up, and I really regret not getting that all filmed, but can only film so much. So this is the Ravish Star, which is a game made by Mini War Games. So a lot of people know them from their YouTube channel. They actually had a game here that they were demoing and featuring at the AdeptiCon. So I got some images of that. Had to come back on a few different days to also film this one. They were actually a really busy little booth too. They had a lot of people there. They were filming live, so I'm sure on their channel they have some amazing images of this. Giving it more justice than I'm doing. I'm more just taking a quick drive-by. Tried to film as much as I could of the booth and the different miniatures they had. I think as I was going through, I might actually be on camera on the opposite side. They're filming me and I'm filming them. Anyways, that wasn't my intention. I just wanted to get over there to see some of the cool miniatures. They actually have some pretty neat casts here, and I really wanted to get a good look at those. So they got some in the showcase here. I'll get a fairly decent image of them. It's like some kind of a tank, and they got all sorts of different. Look at the sculpts; they're really nice. Awesome miniatures. So I wanted to make sure the fellow Canadian boys. I wanted to make sure I got their booths there as well. So I kind of just went by here, but Victoria Miniatures is on this little rack here. I just walked by, and actually saw her a few times in there. I wanted to talk to her, but she was always engaged. But I ended up talking to her later on, and I'll talk about that in a later episode. That I did actually get to meet her at some point in the con. There's Creature Cast again. I was walking by them. This is just again sorted walking around the vendor hall, just giving you guys an image of what it looked like. Trying to merge this, like I said, I spliced these videos together from a few different days, just trying to cover all of the booths. Of course, some of them I spent more time in than others. Some of them I just couldn't even get to. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a good feel of what was at the con. And again, using my gimbal, I just can't believe how smooth this is. Like, I mean, I'm being pushed around, squeezing through crowds, and she films smooth. So yeah, really impressed with that gimbal. Now, if I was only a little bit better of a cameraman, I probably would have better imagery, but it's not too bad. You can kind of see what's going on. So this is that Mantic table I was talking about. They had quite a large booth too. They had all sorts of different stuff connected to them going on in their booth. But I'll just let you guys watch the vendor hall.
Alright, I'll go meet you in the room.
So I had to stop and take a double check at this one. This was actually a really cool game table. I just happened to be walking by the game area and I saw it. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive.
activate a moment that started the turn right now. So in this case, I could activate solo or after. We can cut on activity guys paladin since he was the beginning of my so I'm back to the doctor. I'm like debating between doing yeah, it was at the end.
That's full rules. Code 1 is more streamlined, trimmed down. Less layers of an onion. Okay. But for simplicity, every model you have conscious generates right?
I got a truck full of guys at home for all. He's in heaven.
Secretly ill and haven't told them. All of them.
So just briefly went by the Privateer Press booth. They had some really cool miniatures at the end of their showcase. They didn't have as large a booth as some of the other vendors, but nevertheless, they have really cool miniatures, and I wanted to get them in the showcase here and take a look at them. So this is also a really cool area. They have I think it's Reaper Bones that puts this on. It's kind of a free painting area where they have free paint set up and miniatures, and you can just pick up the paints and start painting, which is, I think, is super cool idea. So we're near our ending our experience here in the vendor hall. We're kind of back at the Marvel Crisis booth. Just want to take a look at that other booth right across the way there. I haven't been to Talon Games there yet. And we're just going to get across there. And this is pretty much it. This is pretty impressed with the vendor hall. All sorts of cool things in here to look at. I did actually buy mostly terrain-related stuff, and maybe I'll do that in a separate episode. I'll kind of go over some of the things that I got at AdeptiCon. But I just wanted to show you the atmosphere and what it looked like in there. And yeah, I kind of commented on a few things, but all right, so once we get out of here, I'm going to go down the hallway to the large Space Marine. There's a few vendors along the way. I just wanted to show you that hallway that I mentioned at the beginning of the episode. You can kind of see the hustle and bustle that's down there now, opposed to the unpacking that I was going through at the very beginning. So we're just going to head down the hallway here and show you what it looks like down here now. I think there was a BattleTech to the vendor right there.
and they had a couple of live games being played there. They were filming live, which is kind of cool. A few other vendors, and then of course they had the cafeteria area. They eventually set up the parade of armies down here. I do have some coverage of that. I filmed about half of them. It was another thing of it being just overly busy. Alright, that's it for this video. The next up is the Golden Demon Historical and Tournament Play.